I don't believe there's any criminal offense that should have the death penalty.
What has become of this country? After 238 years, you'd think we'd be farther along than this, but we're not. Because the government still thinks it's okay to confine people in bad/poor conditions and then execute them. What is the death penalty? The death penalty is a punishment of a capital offense, which is a crime where most of the time the victim is killed as a result of the offense. Some say the death penalty should be outlawed.
It is positively medieval and in no way belongs in our modern 21st century society.
Although others say that it is a lawful way of punishment, is the way people are treated on death row ethical?
But even if you're talking about someone who's on either death row or life in prison, the idea that the government is going to put them in such a psychological position that they are, going to show serious mental health effects is really concerning.
Well, that had time in a cell alone with nothing except a black and white TV and a sink. Most death row inmates go insane, and in extreme cases, the prisoner may attempt suicide.
I would say that even if somebody approved of the death penalty, I would have very little patience for an ethical argument that says it's all right to effectively torture someone and drive them insane, right? If we're approving of the death penalty, I'm going to insist that it's done in a humane way, which to me says that no, it is not all right to consign them to insanity.
In the view of the people that support the death penalty, they say, hey, if someone takes a life, theirs should be taken also. People who support the death penalty have a philosophy of an eye for an eye. It can be understood how someone who supports the death penalty, he would think that a death deserves a death, although the death row part is unacceptable. When most people think of the death penalty, they overlook death row. But to really understand and the ethics of the death penalty, they have to look at death row.
Pretty poorly. I mean, one of the things we work a lot at the ACLU on solitary confinement, which is certainly something that most people, I think, on death row experience, where you are literally just sort of locked in a very small room by yourself for usually 23 to 24 hours a day, and there are serious psychological impacts of that. It drives people insane.
But what is better for our country? To abolish the death penalty or to keep it the way it is now? In the Constitution, it says that Americans have the right to life. So, is the death penalty right? In an observation of the Constitution and other factual evidence, the death penalty could be observed as good or bad. Me and my group agreed that the death penalty is immoral and wrong.